I got my first credit card and checking account at 18. I knew absolutely nothing about stewardship or finances, and honestly, I was never taught. My parents didn't talk about how to manage money. They only talked about how they never had any. I didn't know the first thing about credit scores or how important they were. The first time I discovered I even had a credit score was when I got denied for a used car loan because my bad credit score due to late payments on my first credit card. I had no idea how hard it would be to make that score go up. I went to a public inner city high school that did its best, but the goal there was survival, not strategy. No personal finance class, nothing like that, no budgeting lessons. I stepped into adulthood financially blind. Nobody ever explained what interest meant or why minimum payments could trap you in debt for years. We learned algebra in school, but not how to read a billing statement. I wasn't trying to be reckless. I was just unprepared. Like most people, I assumed adulthood came with some automatic wisdom. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. I thought I could buy on credit and just pay it off later. I didn't understand how quickly debt can snowball, or how even being a little late would haunt me for years. Bills stacked up, overdraft fees hit like clockwork, and eventually, survival mode became my financial identity. And it wasn't that I didn't care. I just didn't know that there was another way. Early on, I got a job, bought a car, and opened a secured credit card. A few years later, I started a business and even bought a house. I knew how to hustle, and I was determined. On paper, sure, it looked like progress. I had some stuff, some titles. Friends even told me I was winning. But deep down, I felt like such a fraud. I was chasing things that my friends had, and yeah, I even obtained some of them. But it never felt secure. It never felt real, because my financial life was a house of cards. Credit limits were maxed out. I rotated bills like a carousel. Late payments, grace periods, balance transfers. I thought I was managing. I was really just surviving. I made the mistake that a lot of people make, and I assumed that income equaled stability. Well, it doesn't. Not if you're juggling debts with no system. And I had no system. Then came the big hit. A friend pitched me a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that was going to make me rich. I invested more than I could afford, and it turned out to be a scam. That moment hit different because I realized hustle and vision aren't the same as stewardship and understanding. I was barely surviving. Things didn't change because of a raise or some lucky break. They changed when I faced the reality that I kept avoiding. And I was just tired of trying to survive, tired of hiding from my own numbers. So I did something that I had never done. I sat down and faced every account, every balance, every mess I had ever made. That moment was brutal, but it was honest. And honesty turned out to be the most valuable currency I had. I knew I needed financial education, but more than that, I needed a mindset shift. I stopped chasing dream jobs and Instagram-worthy success. I started treating my regular paycheck and those boring job benefits like tools. My pride kept whispering that I should be doing more, earning more, that I should be more. But what I needed was stability. I needed predictability. More than anything, I craved breathing room. I told myself, you don't need the perfect circumstances, you just need a better system. One built on consistency, not only on your charisma. I wasn't waiting for escape anymore. I was building strategy, one sober choice at a time. First, I had to clean up the mess. And that wasn't easy. I sold my house, I closed my business, and I got a new job. and started over. But I was still delusional because I kept applying for mortgages and new credit right away, thinking just one yes would change everything. But the denials kept coming. And honestly, I didn't have the money for a down payment. I could barely afford the house that I had before. I hadn't fully accepted where I was. So I pulled my credit reports from all 3 bureaus. No more guessing. I needed the real facts. I disputed errors, called creditors, started negotiating my bills with no lawyers, no middlemen, no fixers, just me. I paid off the small debts first, and then I tackled the bigger ones. I kept my usage low. I let accounts age. I stopped closing credit cards out of frustration, and I started being strategic. Most people think that credit is about how much you owe. It's really about how you handle what you owe. I started making every payment on time. I decided, no exceptions, I was gonna pay on time. That changed everything. Eventually, I picked up a side hustle. It didn't bring in tons of cash, but it was reliable. And it gave me the room to start saving slowly, consistently. I started investing what I could, as I could. Nothing flashy, no crypto hype, no millionaire chasing, just real math I understood. In 2 years, my score climbed from 480 to 600. No shortcuts, no fixers, just strategy, discipline, and time. But the truth is, those numbers were just markers. The real goal wasn't getting to 800. The real goal was breathing room. I still couldn't buy a house at this point because I needed a 640 credit score, but I was on my way. I had a steady job. I had a side hustle that worked for me. And within a couple of years, I had enough for a down payment. And my score? Over 640. I bought the house, not with hype, not with luck, but with a system that I'd built from scratch. And this time it felt real. It felt sustainable. That old fear that used to whisper that it was all gonna fall apart, it was gone. And it was replaced by a plan, by stability, by proof. I'm not a millionaire, not yet at least, but I'm financially freer than I ever imagined I would be. I no longer wake up wondering if I forgot a payment or if my card will be declined for some reason. I don't live a life of luxury, but I do have systems and I do have peace. This channel isn't about chasing wealth. It's about escaping chaos. It's about reclaiming your dignity. And here's something I learned the hard way. Stability is a skill. It's not just something you stumble into. It's something you practice. Budgeting isn't just for broke people. Credit repair isn't just damage control. These things are tools, quiet, consistent ones that build freedom over time. And you don't need to become a finance guru to use them. Next episode, I'm breaking down the budget that stopped my overdraft cycle completely. No hype, no extreme frugality, just a realistic plan that gave me room to breathe and helped me to stop hiding from my own bank account. We're not chasing riches here. We're not trying to become overnight millionaires. Subscribe, stick around, and share this with someone who is tired of just surviving. We're building breathing room, one move at a time.